Hello and welcome back. This is part 2 of my kind of tutorial for StormWinds, the Lost Campaigns. Now we're going to go in a little bit deeper detail. I'm going to explain to you how to navigate this screen in more detail and then understand things after you've bought them. Now, once you're in your selection mode right here, like right before the wave, this is the pre-wave preparation that we'll talk about. Now, there's a ton of turrets that you can go through, and I'll probably explain a few of them since they're the ones that I use most in combat. Let's say there's maybe like 30 turrets. There's different types of turrets as well. There's a primary weapon, which is a turret that's used probably the most in the combat and usually deals either the most damage or is most heavily used. A secondary gun would be, this is passive defense, would be a secondary gun, the sniping cannon. This is one that can do either a lot of damage or an area of effect, and you only usually it has a long cooldown rate, and usually you like zoom over to use it real quick and then you go back to your primary, which can be effective if you time it right. Another type, which I showed you just a little bit ago, is a passive thing. Passive items usually will give benefits to other turrets, provide defense to them, health, more damage that they can deal, or it will do something to their field that will help you out. Like passive decoy, this right here just takes hits. It's basically just, I don't know, a bunch of scrap metal put together that you can use to block enemy attacks. Giving you an example, well wait, this right here is an area of effect type. Minefield and artillery tower. They both unleash attacks every now and then that will do an area of damage, and usually a fair bit of damage if they hit their targets. Now, some of the weapons, like the Apocalypse Cannon and the Solar Cannon, you can probably only use them, and if you're lucky, afford them, once in an entire campaign, and they deal a ton of damage. Like the Solar Cannon, if it hits anything basically, which is half the screen, it'll destroy it, but don't get your hopes up for that. Another thing is like auto airships, which will send out your own airship and attack enemies nearby. But yeah, another thing is a shield gun. This targets one object. It can't do any damage, but it'll defend one turret, so you'd want to place it far back on the field. These are buffers. Buffers obviously will make things better. And when you go to select to buy an object, you'll notice the cost, and it'll give a small description, but it doesn't give you all the information. So try out different turrets to figure out which one you like and get used to it. This is the one I usually start out with. And then I go over here and get this. Now another thing is the turrets are here, the level is 1, and then there's a bar here for progress, which you can't really affect before the battle, and then there's more. You can click on that and it'll give you all the information that has to do with it. These are the upgrades, and when you select an upgrade, it'll tell you how much it costs, what it does, and how many times you've upgraded it. Now once they fade away, you can't upgrade it anymore, but there's not very many times you're going to have that actually happen. Like this, it'll increase its damage by 1. That doesn't seem like much, but trust me, it'll basically double the damage output of this turret right here. So the yellow is basically what it has. These are how everything is working as it is. And you'll understand this as you play along and just look at it every now and then. Fire rate obviously is faster. Health increases health, has it last longer. Damage is obvious too. This turret just has a health upgrade. Every turret has different upgrades and will do different things. This turret here, you cannot actually use to fight in combat. And, let's see. So yeah, it's good to have a combination like this because there's always enemies that are going to be able to shoot at you and you're not going to be able to shoot back at them. So you'll want something, say, with a lot of health or that has a shield over it in the front, being protected from basic attack. And then behind it you'll want something that's dealing heavy damage. Then in the very back you'll want area of effects and buffs and other things. Now, right at the beginning, it automatically selects the primary weapon. To fire whatever weapon you're using, you just click it and attack your targets. So you can select the weapon that you're using by clicking on it if you have multiple items, or you can just use your hotkeys, which are 2. This one's 2, so I'd click 2 to activate this. Now these little black guys right here, they don't do any damage, so you don't really have to worry about them. The little kind of two-winged helicopters. These ones up here that are flying, the bigger orange helicopters, are ones that will drop bombs on you. Now here's another thing about this game is learning priorities. The bigger the enemy, usually the larger the priority that you want to attack them. Now sometimes it's necessary to go after smaller targets if they're getting closer to you than the bigger ones. But yeah, it's just getting used to the gun you have, getting its feel, and making sure that you back your strategy up. And once the wave is over, which you'll see at the bottom there, or it'll tell you when the wave's over, and you'll be at level 2 or 3 or whatever. You might not level up, but don't worry. And you'll have upgrade points which you can spend. But you'll notice this and this I can't afford because I only have 2 upgrade points, and every turret usually gets only 2 upgrade points per level. If you save up, which I would recommend for some turrets, for this one at least, and save up to 10, you can spend 10 upgrade points to upgrade that, or 1 upgrade point to upgrade the health. It's all up to you in that matter. A few last things. Just always remember, if you buy an item and sell it, you'll sell it for less than you bought it. And always be careful when selecting turrets. Get used to them as quick as you can through the level, and if you fail, don't worry, you'll do it better next time. Thank you, and I'll see you in the campaign.